U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry defended Belgium's counterterrorism efforts against critics, saying that carping about Belgium's shortcomings is, quote, a little bit frantic and inappropriate just days after the attack. Dr. Sebastian Gorka is the Major General Matthew C. Horner Distinguished Chair of Military Theory at Marine Corps University and author of Defeating Jihad. Dr. Gorka, we spoke the other night. Secretary Kerry coming to the defense of Belgium's counterterrorism efforts, saying this is not the time to Monday morning quarterback. But was the ball dropped there? Could this attack have been prevented?
Yes, it could have been prevented if we had a different form of leadership in Europe and if we didn't see a complete failure of the immigration and integration policies within the European Union. It is no surprise to intelligence professionals that the most wanted man in Europe connected to the Paris attacks was hiding out in plain sight in Brussels, in the equivalent of what is the capital of the European Union. This tells you everything you need to know. The age of multiculturalism and not having to integrate and creating enclaves within Europe, that era is dead. This is what is exploited by radicals, and as a result, we can expect, unfortunately, to see more attacks of this nature in the future.
Dr. Gorka, we look at what happened in Europe this week as Americans, and we wonder if that is a window into the future for this country. Do you see it that way?
I've always said that we are about 10 years behind Europe. We have a real clear and present danger from jihad. We've had more than 95 people killed or arrested on U.S. soil in the last 2 years connected to ISIS. So it's here, it's in Philly, it's in San Bernardino. But we don't have this kind of enclaves, these kinds of hotbeds of radicalization in America yet. We have some problems in certain mosques. We do have areas where there's a higher density of radicalization, but it's not as bad as Europe is right now.
And Dr. Gorka, you've been talking about the timing, and that timing is everything for these terrorists. And they see that our president is in the last year of his term, and you say that the terrorists see this as an opportunity. Do you expect terrorist attacks, to pick up in the next few months?
If I were in charge, then yes. If I'm inside ISIS, I'm going to exploit an administration that's obsessed with social justice and with climate change. When we have a commander-in-chief who seems to be absent without leave, hanging out with communist dictators or dancing in Argentina, I would exploit that mercilessly. I would deploy people who know how to do these kinds of attacks. I'd continue to radicalize people like Malik and Farouk from San Bernardino. Yes, if I'm the enemy, I will exploit the lame duck presidency of President Obama. So every American needs to be awake and realize the threat is real and it is imminent.
Dr. Gorka, last night we had Chairman Michael McCaul on the program, and he said Europe is overwhelmed. Is the U.S., as one would expect you to say yes, is the U.S. safer than Europe right now?
Well, we have some amazing national security professionals. I have the honor of working with elements of the FBI, the special forces, and elements of the intelligence community. They know the threat, they get it, but there are some issues. When you have an administration that says you can't talk about religion, you can't even use the word jihad, it makes their job more difficult. So America is a tad safer than Europe because of the scale of the immigration and the refugee crisis that's being exploited by the jihadis. But the threat is still very real, and we are the #1 target. Remember, America is the #1 infidel target for the jihadis.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka, thank you.